My name is Nantawat Suksalisan and welcome to my presentation about brain-computer interface. So let's start with introduce to brain-computer interface. Brain-computer interface is a system that connects your brain directly to the machine like computer, robot arm, which allow you to send command using only your thought, your mind. You don't have to speak, you don't have to move. The idea is natural signal control. Imagine you can control computer with your mind, or maybe it would help disabled person to move the wheelchair without touching their wheelchair, or maybe if they are fully disabled body but their brain still functional, so this would helpful to them so that they can move their wheelchair by themselves, or maybe they can work by themselves. So you may think how the brain sends signal and how we can detect it. Actually, it's very simple. First, our brain is made up by billion of cells called neuron, which they send signal every millisecond or faster. This signal is considered as electrical pattern so that BCI can detect it and measure it like the normal electric wave. So it can determine as five categories. First one is delta, which is the wave that happens when you on a deep sleep, or maybe a theta when you are dreaming or autopilot or learning something. Alpha when you are relaxed or recharged like you on the spa. The next thing is a beta is something that occur when you are engaging on something, or maybe you do your homework, you try to solving some problem in your life, your brain signal become beta. And when you intend or learning something, or maybe it's very complex learning on your mind, this wave become gamma. About the BCI, we use alpha and beta wave to understand what the user want to do, especially when it's about the movement or attention. Now, let's talk about VP history of BCI development. On the 1960, first brainwave recording machine was invented here. It invented on the lab to measurement the brain activity. Then, in the 1990, first success human BCI trial for basic cursor movement has been occurred here. You can control your cursor by only your head, but it is precise much. And then 2000, we try to use BCI on disabled patient who can control their arm. So we give her BCI and she uses to control robotic arm to give her a drink. And then in 2010, first commercial BCI enter the market. I don't want to say which one is the first, but there is a lot like Neuralink, Emotive, and OpenBCI. And today, generation where the AI become more general today, we already use BCI with the AI to improve their accuracy because there is a lot of problem and AI help to classify brainwave. This picture is from the mistake which I before you later what it is. The next thing that I want to tell you is the modern company today. You know that from the 10 years ago there is a commercial company that try to investing on the brain computer interface. So for the example is Neuralink, which everyone know because it's company started by the famous Elon Musk. This they try to building a small brain implant that can connect to the computer, implant directly on the brain, or maybe a soft one Cycon. They use like a Neuralink, but they use a vessel instead. It's just a line through to your neck into directly into your brain. It's kind of dangerous too, but it's safe than implant your brain because it's only on the blood vessel. Actually, Thailand have institutes that recently work with BCI too, and this institute is named WISTEC, which located in Laya. I could tell you that this institute is not research about BCI only. They have 4 departments, but department that research on it is IST, or the full name is School of Information Science and Technology, composed of 3 main lab is the AI lab, brain lab, and robot lab. These three labs coordinate together to improve a lot of technology. The one of the lab that I mentioned earlier is interface, which lead by Dr. Thilavit. This lab is focused a lot of things because they welcome students around the Thailand and outside the Thailand too. Someone try to uh, study about healthcare, someone try to study about controlling a robot with BCI, and most of it is AI is a core part that improve how we measure and predict the user thought. Actually, I want to tell you something more about the BCI is that there is a two type of the BCI that I mentioned earlier. The modern company that have invasive type is Neuralink. Invasive is like invasive species. I will say that because it's implant in your brain and stay with it, which is kind of dangerous. The company that do is yes, Neuralink and Cycon. It's dangerous but precise because it's attached into your brain. And the next one is non-invasive, which is more safe but it's not precise much. And the problem is it's not comfort to the user or a tester or maybe a subject that we want to measure. There is just a bucket that cover your head. Some is too heavy and some is uh, sticky. So let's talk about real life application. The first one is medical use. This picture is from the Vistech tool that they try to use BCI to control exoskeleton. This is on the researching. And the next one is artificial body parts. This one is not from the Vistech and we don't do it yet. But a lot of people that try to, if this person or maybe someone who don't have arm, they can implant robot arm and use BCI to control. Maybe the mental health is helpful. In the Japan, there is a lab that try to research on the mental health, and they also try to uh, measure a brain disease like epilepsy if it's related to the brain, or maybe some advanced thing like robot controlling with the mind. Nowadays we try to use robot to access to dangerous area, but if you use head, it may be easier to control the robot. This is the hypothesis that we are researching. And more is about understanding movement. We know that bio-inspired robot is something cool because the bio in the world like snake or maybe a complex creature that move like us. What happens if we try to use our brain to control them? Is it weird or maybe we will understand more anything and can adapt to a future appropriate? Or maybe something that funny like gaming. You can imagine you play game with your mind. You can just lay back on the bed, on the seat, and do nothing, just thinking, and the game is played for you. Even though you're not trying to play the game, actually it's help a passion, like I said earlier on the media use, because it's improve accessibility. If you don't have hand to play the game and the game don't decide to you, not problem anymore. You can control by the game, and maybe in the future, if VCI can uh, grow more potential, if maybe have a full day game where you just sleeping and enter the visual game. And picture that I take is from Pilakia, a British Twitter streamer, pedaling on the F4X with this BCI commercial too, and she beat the hardest boss in the game, and it shocked the internet. Everyone is give attention to her, but why she do that and how her do that is really impressed, and everyone want to try it. So everyone can try it, yes, because there are a lot of commercial company that sell BCI. Most of it is not invasive because if it's invasive, maybe it's too dangerous and take more cost, and even not invasive is huge price to pay. For example, it's a Nolosky MyWeb. This is some simple one that try to sell to the institute or maybe open BCI. The picture here that you see, this is picture from Vistech 2 when they go to the research expo that they try to show their research on the BCI, which we said that they use is open BCI. Or maybe Another BCI is emoji inside a commercial too. But the problem is huge price, so maybe collab with a researcher maybe is a better way to get it. Get it? So let's talk about something more related to us, like what is our role? We are software engineer. Can we develop BCI? My answer is yes, and our curricula is really support this. For the programming in BCI, even you don't if you aren't ASCII is not a problem. If you can programming, you just understand something more like Matplotlib, sklearn, TensorFlow, Python language, Matlib, or maybe if you want to make game, you can use JavaScript or C++. ไม่ชอบเลย We talk about something that not relate to us for too long. So let's talk about something that relate to us, which is the law of tech professional in the future of BCI. You might thought that I just programmer, I just software engineer. Why I need to do BCI, or how could I be the part of the BCI researching? Actually, it's really simple because our curriculum support a lot of things like Python, sklearn, and TensorFlow, which we have already learned in the class called AI Enabled System. There is a more specific library like MNE, which is for EGG analysis. EGG is a brain wave that I already mentioned earlier, but it is a more word. And maybe about Matplotlib is helpful to visualize. And if you want to make game, we have JavaScript and C++ which can do it too, but you must understand the bottom level of top level of the BCI first. Let's about something that maybe more related like data analysis. We all know that we learn a lot of things from DA, which taught we taught out about filtering and normalizing. So something that filter that are very common for the BCI is FBCSP or filter bank common space pattern. It is an extension of common space pattern here. You will see CSP. This algorithm to process EGG is apply CSP across multiple frequency band using a filter bank so that they can separate the signal, as I showed you earlier, that we have delta signal, theta signal, and a lot of more. Now maybe we can analyze with other way like time frequency analysis to identify which frequency band dominate a specific movement. Another one is ICA or independent component analysis. This is to separate useful band activity from this section like I blink, you one hand, you the one eye, so we get rid of it. Or maybe something like static analysis with compare band activity across tag that used to file train. So the lead thing is machine learning. Is I want to talk much because we are software engineer and we very familiar with AI or the DA. We learn SVM, random forest, KNN, and from the AI we learn neural network and deep learning. But something that I want to mention is CNN or convolution network is most popular machine learning that we use for BCI because it is very flexible and it's very powerful for classification based signal pattern as an image like an input. Now we have a challenge to deal with it too. If you want to enter this, you must consider this challenge. For the data collection, we have problem about signal accuracy because the signal that we can measure is not just come from your brain, it can come from outside. And the problem is your brain is not just now you know how to apply your knowledge to the BCI field. So let's talk about the challenge you will face if you try to enter this field. The first challenge is signal accuracy because our brain is always active and have a lot of weight, have a lot of communication between cells. So we can guarantee that the signal came from the part of what we want. It may be come from the other side of the brain. It may be outside source that jamming your brain or your device, so it's hard to measure. So you need to use signal processing carefully to extract noise. And the problem come from a like user, because if you want to get rid of the outside environment, user must stay in the room to make sure that there is no noise come from, and it's not comfortable. They need to have a lot of device stick on the head, and they need to stay in the quiet room for a long time, which make them step and can manipulate the process of collecting data. And if you want to go into the commercial level, the problem is on scalability and affordability. If you try to make a huge number of BCI, it's not guaranteed that everyone can work with it, and it's very expensive, so not everyone can afford it. And the problem is, if we try to make it better, we need to consider invasive, which is have long-term safety, because we already plan on the pig, but we never plan on the human. It's because of human life, and it's not guaranteed that if we plan on the brain, it would improve your accuracy, and it have a lot of safety protocol to consider. Like if you implant, if your brain gonna get damaged, it's gonna give you infection, or maybe you be paralyzed or become disabled because implant this. This is quite a challenge that you need to face. But however, BCI is a cut-edge technology that will change the world. Nowadays, it's not something surprise, because it's going slowly but steadily. BCI is expanded in every direction, in the medical, gaming, and AI. Everything is still related to us. Even not now, but the future it will really helpful for us. Maybe when we are older, the BCI would help us to play a game when we can't even touch the joy. And as the BCI explained in real life, this will transform to a better world that we can connect together. Wherever you instant health, gaming, or innovation, BCI will offer a lot of potential to the human technology. Thank you for listening to my presentation. Thank you.